Today we're building this simple Chinese Veilwyn Solwyn Stables in ARK Survival Ascended, using mostly the Golden Dynasty custom cosmetic as well as a little bit of the Chinese cosmetic, both of which will also be mentioned below so you can easily copy over the names. And as you can see, these stables are perfect if you want a little spot to breed your Veilwyn and maybe also display some of your other pets in the new pet displays and the companion beds that we got with the launch of Lost Colony. And the stables themselves are also perfect for your Solwyn. You can easily have them safely inside, or of course do some breeding there too. And it all in this very nicely themed vase, which of course looks amazing thanks to the use of these skins. Hello there survivors, and welcome back to another step-by-step build tutorial in ARK Survival Ascended. As always, if you enjoy seeing these types of build videos and you want to continue to see more, make sure to like the video and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate all the support, and feel free to leave comments for future suggestions down in the comments below. Then as always, we're going to start out with the foundations, and we're going to make them 3 wide over here, and then we're going to make it 6 long, and then we can bring this out again and connect it back up, and also of course fill in the middle. So this is going to be the size of the stables themselves. We want to add some stairs here in the middle and some stairs over there. That is going to be the 2 entrances to the stables. If the landscape lets you, you can also add a sloped stone wall here. Probably usually it won't actually let you do that. And then we want to focus on the little side building for your Veilwyn and your little shoulder pads. We want to take out our triangle foundations, turn them into the quarter ones, add 4 of them right over here, then take out another foundation, and then we can snap a few more to it, so that in total it's going to be 3 long and it's going to be 2 wide, just with a little offset to the main building so that it lines up with the middle of that building. And that is the entire foundation done. Then over here we also want to make sure that we add a staircase to go into this part of the building. Then we can take out our pillars. Here on this corner we want to add 2. We can actually extend that back to the bottom if we want to. We can add a pillar in the middle and another one on this corner, and then of course we can also do that here on the front, here in the middle again, and then all the way over at that corner too. And then finally of course have some here on these corners and have a half pillar on top of those. First of all, we're going to make a little window here at the back. What we want to do is place down 1 wall, have some thin pillars around them, and then a thin beam at the top. And then before we do anything else, we want to make sure that we skin these to the pagoda skins from Golden Dynasty, and then we want to change the variance to the pillars so that they're a little bit more blocky. Then we can also use this Chinese structure skin, and we can change the variance. I'm using the variance cycle tool, but you can also just hold interact until we get this window, which is a pretty nice look, which is what we want here at the back. And then around that, we just want to have some normal walls again, and then on top we want to have a layer of quarter walls, and we can skin all of that in the Golden Dynasty skins. Then over here on the side, we just want to have some normal walls with our quarter walls on top of that. Again, probably all skin that to the Golden Dynasty structures. Here on the front, we want to add a few of these small windows and a double doorway in the middle. And once again, of course, having a layer of these quarter walls. These as well, we can skin all to the Golden Dynasty skins, and especially the door, I would probably go for the more rounded variant because I really like the look of that. It also feels a little bit more unique if you use these, since I mean we normally can't really have any rounded structures in ARK really, but yeah, change that to that door. And then for the rest, I would probably just use all the wooden variants because I like those a lot. You have a few to choose from, but especially these horizontal boards I think are quite a nice look. And if you want even more light to come in, what you could go for one of these is one of the lattice walls. because of course that will let in plenty of light and also adds just a very nice detail, and then probably just wooden walls right there at the back. Then for the main building, first of all, we want to make this wall just fully be walls. Same over here. You could, of course, change the top layer into lattice windows again to get a little bit of extra light, which is actually something that I would probably do for the entirety of the stables. To give your lovely creatures plenty of light on the inside, I would use the top layer and change them all to either this or one of the other lattice wall options in the Golden Dynasty skins. And then the bottom layer, I would just use the wooden textures. So for now, we can just fill that all in. The back is just a normal wall. Here at the front, of course, we need some double doors because your Solwyn will be able to fit through those double doors. But once again, I probably go for the round option because I really think that adds some nice new vibes to it. And if you want a divider between the two sections of the stables, what you could do is add a wall, change them into the lattice walls of Golden Dynasty, either these or these. Probably this one is a little bit nicer because it has a more of a top to it. And then you can still see the creatures on both sides, but you could have separated stables if you want to use it for more than just your Solwyn. Of course, everything that you want to house here has to fit through a double door. If you want anything else, what you could also do is take out a ceiling, change them to barn doors so that you have a slightly bigger door here, because more creatures can fit through these than they can through a double door. So if you wanted anything else, you could try that to see if it fits through that cellar door instead of these normal double doors. But yeah, in general, I would go for these because those have the rounded options, which are definitely quite a nice addition. So then we want to take out our quarter ceilings and we want to go all the way around the entire building, extending the current size because we need an even number to build the roof. So we'll just go around and make sure that we add all of these little quarters in, and of course we can also skin those to be the Golden Dynasty skin. Then we take out our triangle roofs. We'll switch to the ramp corners and we can add those on the corners of our building, of course, to start creating our roof. There we go. Same over here. And then we can actually do the very same on this part of the building. So we also want to find the right snap point, add in the corners, but in this case they're aligned with the structure itself. Then we can take out our ramps. We should be able to add 2 more ramps here and 2 more ramps over there. And then here on this side, of course, we can follow around the entirety of the building to get the ramps in their right place all the way. And then we can also fill in the next layer. So these middle ones, we of course want to have the normal ramps, and then in the corners can in fact continue. Now then, of course, we just need to switch it all to the Golden Dynasty skins. Very important is that you might want to check some of the variant options, because you can see you kind of get this double layer and you get this wide beam. Now you can in fact change that so that you have only the ornaments, which are like the supports on the insides, which are fine. And if you don't want to have this double edge here, what you can do is switch these variants so that they're no longer going to add the extra things. So what we want to do is smaller straight ramp without ornaments, and that will actually remove those the extra curve that we have. So you want to do that for all of your roofs to create a nice smooth looking roof, and the same of course on this section of the building. And then as a little extra detail, what you can do here on the very end, you can add some half pillars, because there's some good variants for these to add just the extra little bit of detail. You can of course also do that here if you wanted to, and that is really all you need to do. Of course, then you'll need to change a lot of the variants on the skins, but that is how you build these lovely little stables for your Veilwyn and your Solwyn. And if you're wondering about these lanterns, these are from the Chinese structure skins. If you use the chair on a tech light, so it's not really early game, but then you get these nice swinging lanterns. There's also other options in both skins for lanterns, but yeah, these are of course the best because they move, although they might not be very early game. Then these little bonsai trees are actually feeding troughs with the Golden Dynasty skin. Definitely a amazing addition to get some more atmosphere in your builds. And then over here you can see we have a little room for a Veilwyn. We have a cryo fridge and a new cryo hospital, but also the pet beds. And look how amazing these are. They add a lot of life to your builds, so definitely a very nice addition if you want to just, you know, have your stroller pets. And the good thing is, if you walk up to them, you can easily pick them up as well. So yeah, if you want to just, you know, have a nice spot to park them when you log out, this can be very, very helpful. And yeah, just as a very cozy little addition. And then of course the stables themselves, as you can see, they fit the Solwyn quite easily. And yeah, you can still do your breeding in here, of course. And yeah, they do look very majestic. And if you want to add something else besides the stables, you can also build this simple starter house. I've got also a tutorial for that one already up on the channel. So yeah, there we go. That is how you build this lovely simple Chinese Veilwyn and Solwyn stables in ARK Survival Ascended. Hopefully you enjoyed this build tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate all the support, and feel free to leave a comment with future build suggestions down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video or the next stream. For now, goodbye.